At that epic altitude, Victoria's tears burned her cheeks, but at the speed she and Prasad were riding, it would be unsafe to remove a hand from the reins to dry them. Prasad rode several meters vanguard, guiding Victoria along a narrow brink cut into a sheer cliffside. The hooves of their Marwari horses beat furious polyrhythms into the dusty path. Fathoms below, an emerald and jade patchwork mosaic of barley fields glistened under a morning sky so infinite. Victoria swooned with vertigo. Might she go reeling off into outer space at a sudden shift of the horizon's azimuth? Something like that seemed possible today. For this emergency escape, along these soaring trans-Himalayan paths, came in the wake of witnessing the assassination of Sher Khan.
Sher Khan,
Victoria whispered to herself. It was thought to be his real name, and he was believed to be Pakistani, but nobody knew for sure.
maybe not even he.
She wondered. While her horse's sinewy torso surged underneath her, and her long blonde hair trailed wildly cascading flutters behind her, she pondered the backstory to keep her mind focused and hopefully figure all of this out. She knew that when Sher Khan was still an infant, he'd been orphaned to the Buddhist monastery in this skyscraping region of Nepal called Kondostang. Since then, Sher Khan had never traveled abroad. A sprawling matrix of rural villages nested atop the Himalayan mountain range, the kingdom of Ko has been untouched by modernity since the 15th century. At 14,000 feet above sea level, it is accessible only by horseback or on foot. Disciples of Sher Khan trekked the distance to him in pilgrimage, the privation a test of their authenticity. His doctrine of Zen simplicity and trans-ethnic solidarity spread via written manifestos, tape-recorded interviews, and digital video clips carried back to modern civilization like spiritual contraband, and posted on websites, blogs, and YouTube pages.
But I'm just a musician.
Victoria Penrose, world-traveled pianist and composer, arrived at Kondostang impartial to Sher Khan's mystic celebrity. It was the music which brought Victoria to this global perimeter. The exotic chanting of the local monastery's rustic Buddhist monks like Prasad, the tanned and bearish guide who'd escorted Victoria here and was now spiriting her away in a near panic. She realized Prasad was glancing back to make sure she was still with him. Then he swiveled his head forward again as they raced down the mountainside.
What the hell happened?
Victoria's week at the monastery went fine until the end. The monks humored her with enthusiasm while she captured their lyric chants on her flash recorder. The cult of Sher Khan's charisma hummed safely in the background, under the vigilant eye of that female Chinese colonel, Ying, and her platoon of khaki-clad guards.
The ceremony.
She thought. With Sunday morning came the outdoor ceremony, a low-hanging sun gracing Sher Khan's outstretched arms, his youthful visage, ochre-toned skin, piercing brown eyes under a shrub of kinky brown hair. Like Jesus, Victoria thought. At that, his head pitched back, his chest ruptured, and Sher Khan crumpled to the ground like a puppet whose strings had been scissored.
What did I do wrong?
Victoria ran to him, yanking off her headscarf. The Chinese colonel, Ying, fixed on Victoria an accusatory stare as if she were somehow culpable. Then Ying and her guards became infuriated from shouting into two-way radios which responded with silence. The entire Chinese platoon jumped on their horses and charged off toward the ridge.
That ridge.
About 1,000 yards in the distance, Victoria was only vaguely aware of it. She tried to use her headscarf to tend to Sher Khan's wounds, but he was gone. All she could do was cradle his lifeless head in her hands. She was glancing about in manic disbelief when Prasad said to her, "You should go." Victoria stood, gripping the blood-soaked headscarf, watching the billowing trail of dust Ying and her equine squad kicked up as they sped toward the ridge. Victoria gazed upon the spectacle of it as if trapped in a nightmare to endure before waking. Prasad broke her spell by persisting, "I have seen that look Colonel Ying set upon you. You should go. I will escort you. Now." Now, racing away from Kondostang, Prasad glanced back to confirm she was still with him. Then he swiveled his head forward again as they hurtled along the Kali Gandaki river valley, Victoria's tears still flowing, still burning her cheeks.
I can't leave yet!
She tried to call out to Prasad, but it came out a whisper, and she knew she was already gone.